Hi, my name is David from cinemascomics.com from Spain. Congratulations for the TV show. It's amazing. I will know how you will describe your characters in this TV show.
How would I describe Denny? I think Denny's, what's really great is that there's a lot of dynamics to Denny. And, he's a guy who really loves life. He has an inability to be thoroughly honest with himself, I think, but he doesn't know that, And so I really love Denny, and he loves Peggy a lot. And he feels proprietary about it. He's a little bit of that kind of guy. He feels like when he gets out of jail, everything should be the way it was. We're going to get back together. And he wants to bring the band back kind of guy. And, she sees it differently. But now he's a guy who's got he's somebody that is very paradoxical. On one hand, he's a hustler and he's full of shit. But on the other hand, he's got this spiritual thing, and he's working on himself. He's working.
I think also they had a family. I feel like in the backstory, these people kind of had to survive on their own at an early age, and they came together and they brought their strengths together, and they actually built something, and they had a family together. And that's hard to walk away from. That's your home, that's your base, that's when things were working right. That's the one person that kind of understands you more. For Peggy's character, Denny is her kryptonite. Like, she can hustle the world, but Denny's the one who can hustle her. She doesn't quite see it all the time. She knows you're hustling me, but she still gets hustled anyway by Denny. And they do share this weird kind of spirituality or this desire for some kind of higher realm, which is often a common denominator in addicts. Addicts, they're kind of trying to go to this out-of-body place, this heightened reality, and then they're also dragged down to the darkness. So they're both constantly being self-deceptive in that journey of their own.
You can tell what is your favorite moment of the TV show, or a scene, or some moment that is your favorite? Yes, Matt?
I like the scene where when he gets out of jail and they go into the coffee shop and he's laying out he wants to share with her these new discoveries he's made in himself, these spiritual soul retrieval. He uses this word soul retrieval, but then he actually spins the soul retrieval to be about like doing a heist, to do a robbery, and but he sees it as this is all the intricate weave of life, of the way the world is and us getting back together. But I loved it because I loved working with Patricia's Peggy, and I love the characters. And I just really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the scenes where she's really tough on Denny. Peggy's quite tough on her. But, but then, he's so happy that she actually has a change of heart. But it's at a moment when he's in the middle of robbing a marijuana dispensary.
Let's not tell everything, shall we? I'll say this. In that scene in the coffee shop, I was so blown away as an actor. There were times where I was just watching what Matt was doing and just going, oh, God, this is why I act. To see this is so exciting. And to see where the character started and what he brought to it and the questions he asked the writers and where it got to. I really love that part. And seeing other people's work. Everyone's in a crisis in this movie or the show at different moments. They're lost. Everyone's kind of a little bit lost. And these people both see themselves as leaders, and they are leaders, but they're sort of got that negative aspect also of their leadership that can bring you down the drain.
How the idea from the serie came about?
So the idea for the series started with our great showrunners, Nancy Fitchman, Jennifer Hoppe, and Katie Ford. They had worked on it for a while based on, I think, a little bit on Nancy's sister's, some experiences that she'd had, but a completely original concept. And they got Patricia involved, and Patricia was going to do it with Ben Stiller, who had worked with her on Severance, and Ben couldn't quite squeeze it in between the Severance obligation. So he and Patricia asked me to come in, but it was all worked out by the showrunners in advance. And I just got to jump in and try to help them, realize their vision for it. But I did get to, once I committed to doing all 8 of them, even though I was originally just going to do one, to sort of find, I hope, a sort of unified style, and tone, even though it's actually tonally quite diverse. It all comes out of her character, and I was so committed and sort of caught up in drinking the Kool-Aid of Patricia's character and her personal mythology, that I just tried to have the show be a realization of that, and that is what I would do on a feature film, and I tried to sort of approach it like I would on a feature film.
The TV show is amazing. There's another TV show you shared of inspiration? I don't know, maybe Breaking Bad or something like that?
Yeah, Breaking Bad actually is a great reference. I thought about that show, and I had seen, and it's funny you mentioned that show, because I grew up in the high desert in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Breaking Bad is filmed there. And their ability to make the desert both beautiful and deadly, was definitely, and I think a little bit the Coen brothers, they always do such a great job mixing character and place, and sort of having the predicament be so compelling, but the coping strategy and the character's ability to navigate it be both sort of scary but also funny, those are probably 2 of the most important influences.
And how it was been working with these actors?
Well, the cast was incredible, starting with Patricia, and then once we got Matt Dillon, and the way those scenes worked together just was, exceeded even my already high expectations. And then you pull in so many other great actors like Bernadette Peters and Rupert Friend and Brad Garrett, and I mean, there's a crazy long list of unbelievably enjoyable collaborators we were able to pull in, and that's something I try to do on my feature films too, is surround the actors with other actors who will just keep the game at its highest. Keep everybody's on their toes for each other. And everybody stepped up. Patricia is such a pro, and so she was doing something so brave and just risky, that everyone saw what was going on, and they all wanted to step it up. And I love that when that happens on the set. It's such a electric environment for creativity, particularly when you start with such great scripts.
And the last one, there will be a second season?
One hopes. Apple hasn't picked it up yet, but I think it's going to catch on. I think it'll sneak up on people, and when they do, I predict that they'll want to do a second one.
Would you describe your characters from the TV show?
So I play a character called Guru Bob, who began life as a small town news anchor, had an existential meltdown live on air, took acid, and basically dropped out of society, and other people declared that he was a guru, and he did not tell them otherwise.
Oh, I play Carol, who is Peggy's best friend, and she is kind of her guiding light and her anchor, because we see that Peggy is crazy, and so she kind of tries to steer her and maneuver her to make good decisions. Whether that happens or not, it's a different conversation. But she's a faithful, supportive friend of Peggy, while Peggy experiences the madness and the ups and downs of life.
How did you get involved in this TV show, this series?
I was sent the script, and then I met with the director, Jay Roach, and liked him enormously. and just thought it was unlike anything I'd ever done before. So jumped in.
Yeah, I had a Zoom meeting with the writers, cast and director, and Jay, and we met, and the rest is history.
Okay. And what was working with the rest of the actors, like Patricia and Matt?
Such a joy. They're amazing human beings and very, very funny. A lot of the scenes that I was in with them went off into mad improvisations, some of which I think made me go, but just every day was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're definitely characters on and off the screen, very loving of their crafts. Yeah, remembering Matt and all the stuff he do. He's very, very engaging and very funny. So it was beautiful being in scenes with them and everybody else. Brad Garrett is great too. He's hilarious. That was very difficult for me not to laugh every single time he opened his mouth, because even the sound of his voice is it's funny in a good way. But no, it was wonderful to work with people who care about the work and try new things and keep it engaging and fun and alive. So it was great.
And what was your favorite moment of the TV show?
Yeah, I mean, working in the scenes with Patricia and Matt, and just letting it riff, letting it become sort of an improvisation. That was really, really fun. And the location was also very stunning and unlike anything that I'd seen before.
Yeah, I enjoyed drinking a lot of fake wine. I would find ways to incorporate it, even if it wasn't written in the script. I'd be like, yeah, I think she'd be drinking some wine. So I had a lot of that. I need to find out what it's called. I really enjoyed it. I'll say that was one of the fun parts of it.
And the last one, there will be a second season?
We don't know. They haven't told us. You have to ask the grown-ups. I have a question for you. Is that a lightsaber behind you?
Yes, Darth Vader, like.
Oh, very cool.
Darth Vader.
All right.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. The TV show is awesome, and I think people will enjoy it.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster.